From translation, Net New English Translation. This 72nd day of the year. Today we are reading passages Joshua 9 to 11. Joshua chapter 9, verses 1 to 27. Now when all the kings west of the Jordan heard about these events, including the kings of the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, gathered together to fight against Joshua and Israel. They combined their forces and encamped at Gibeon to fight against Israel. But the inhabitants of Gibeon acted deceptively and went as a delegation. They took worn-out sacks on their donkeys, old wineskins that were torn and mended, worn-out and patched sandals on their feet, worn-out clothes, and all of their bread was dry and moldy. They went to Joshua at the camp at Gilgal and said to him and the men of Israel, "We have come from a distant land, make a treaty with us." The men of Israel said to the Hivites, "How can we make a treaty with you when you live among us?" But they said to Joshua, "We are your servants." Joshua said to them, "Who are you, and where do you come from?" They said to Joshua, "Your servants have come from a very distant land because of the reputation of the Lord your God, for we have heard the report about him, and all that he did in Egypt, and all that he did to the two Amorite kings east of the Jordan, to Sihon king of Heshbon, and to Og king of Bashan who was at Ashtaroth. So our elders and all the inhabitants of our land said to us, 'Take provisions with you for the journey and go meet them and say to them, "We are your servants, make a treaty with us." This bread of ours was warm when we packed it in the morning as our provision for the journey. But now look, it is dry and moldy. These wineskins we filled were new, but look, they are torn. And these clothes and sandals of ours are worn out because of the very long journey." The men of Israel sampled their provisions, but did not ask the Lord for guidance. So Joshua made a treaty of peace with them to let them live, and the leaders of the community swore an oath to them. At the end of 3 days after they had made a treaty with them, they heard that they were neighbors and were living among them. The Israelites traveled on and came to their cities on the 3rd day. Now their cities were Gibeon, Kephirah, Beeroth, and Kiriath-Jearim. But the Israelites did not attack them, because the leaders of the community had sworn an oath to them by the Lord God of Israel. Then all the Israelites complained to the leaders. So all the leaders said to the community, "We have sworn an oath to them by the Lord God of Israel, so we cannot harm them now. This is what we will do to them. We will not let them live, so that they may not trick us with an oath by which they might make us serve them." Joshua summoned the Gibeonites and said to them, "Why did you trick us by saying, 'We live far away from you,' when in fact you live among us? So now you are cursed. You will always be servants who cut wood and carry water for the house of my God." They replied to Joshua, "It was carefully reported to your servants how the Lord your God commanded his servant Moses to assign you all the land, and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land before you. So we were very afraid for our lives because of you and did this thing. Now we are in your hand. Do whatever you think is good and appropriate for you to do." Joshua delivered them from the power of the Israelites, and they did not kill them. That day Joshua made the Gibeonites woodcutters and water carriers for the community, and for the altar of the Lord at the worship center at Gibeon. To this day they continue to do so. Joshua chapter 10, verses 1 to 10. Now Adonizedek king of Jerusalem heard that Joshua had captured Ai and had utterly destroyed it, just as he had done to Jericho and its king, just as he had done to Ai and its king, and that the inhabitants of Gibeon had made peace with Israel and were living among them. He and his people became very afraid because Gibeon was a large city, like one of the royal cities, and was larger than Ai, and all its men were warriors. So Adonizedek king of Jerusalem sent a message to Hoham king of Hebron, Piram king of Jarmuth, Japhia king of Lachish, and Debir king of Eglon, saying, So the 5 Amorite kings, the kings of Jerusalem, Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, and Eglon, gathered their troops and went up. They deployed their troops and fought against Gibeon. The inhabitants of Gibeon sent a message to Joshua at the camp in Gilgal, saying, "Do not abandon your servants. Come up to us quickly and save us and help us, because all the Amorite kings who live in the hill country have assembled against us." So Joshua and his whole army, including all his best warriors, marched up from Gilgal. Joshua attacked them by marching all night from Gilgal. The Lord threw them into confusion before Israel. Joshua defeated them in a great victory at Gibeon. Israel chased them up the road to the pass of Beit Horon and struck them down as far as Azekah and Makkedah.